Just...
Good afternoon, this fine Saturday. How's it going, Craig?
Good afternoon, Johnny. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Saturday afternoon. The week 4's already underway. Week 3 is in the bag. So interesting times. You know, this is us heading into the middle part of the season, where seasons are won and seasons are lost, really, isn't it? It's I mean,
Yeah,
if you don't see like I have, then you're in a bit of a panic, and you know you're kind of starting to think, oh shit, I need to worry about relegation here. And if you're starting 3-0 like you have, then you're starting to think, oh, I've got a chance this season.
well, I've been a bit lucky with injuries, so it does help to go 3-0. Yeah, there's been a lot of injuries, and there's going to be a lot of injuries, so it's going to change a lot over the next.
Well, that's it really kicking
couple of
in now,
weeks.
isn't it? The injuries are really starting to take hold now, and it's been an interesting 3 weeks in that, you know, week 1 you were kind of in a panic if you went wide receiver early. Week 2 you were relieved that they bounced back, but then week 3 again, you know, you're chasey. If you're 101 chase, you're worried at the moment. It's, you know, Burrow's down for months, and you know, Neighbours has done nothing last week. He's got Dart coming in this week. You know, will that help Neighbours? Will that hinder Neighbours? I mean, let's not forget Russell Wilson can throw over 400 yards in a game. So, yeah, lots of changes going on, and it'll be interesting to see how the season progresses from here on in, and if these guys will justify their draft positions this season.
Well, in fairness, Caleb Williams threw for 4 touchdowns against the Dallas Cowboys defense too, so that doesn't really say much for.
He did. I get that.
At least they won, we didn't. But no, I think I saw somebody that
Wilson's got it in his locker.
There's sort of rumoured that the Bengals might come for Wilson.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world, would it?
Yeah. And then the
If
Giants
there's anyone but the Bengals.
I know, but I don't know where I heard it. It's just popped up in my head. Couldn't be fucking dreaming it for I know, but yeah, that wouldn't be a bad place for him, because obviously Burrow's out for the year. He's got better receivers. I mean, so obviously you've got Neighbours, you've got Chase, you've got Higgins. Yeah. And it would open up the game for Chase.
It would make sense, Johnny. I mean, you have to think the Bengals season's kind of over now, you know, in the sense that obviously if they stick with Browning, you know, he's clearly not the man that can lead them to playoffs and such. So, and such a hard division as well. I would say that, yeah, that would make a really smart move if the Bengals were to go and pick up someone like Russell Wilson.
But the
Bengals, and I just don't see them doing it.
No, but the thing is, they're 2-1. I mean, they're going to win the record. Is it 2-1?
They are.
But they've started better than they normally do.
They've got awful defense, awful defense, and they've got an ownership group that don't want to spend any money. So I would be very surprised if they came and pick. But then Russell Wilson won't cost them much, I guess. So yeah, I mean, it would be a smart move, but. I put it this way: if I'm in a super flex dynasty, I'm not dumping Russell Wilson just yet. I think he'll start again this season somewhere.
Yeah, well, like I say, obviously you know my feeling. I think they should have sat that for the whole year and just not bothered. But because the defensive line did play better this week, but Thomas can't keep healthy, and the rest of it's just pants, so he's going to get murdered. So it's just. I'd rather he just sat out for a year, but you might prove me wrong. But they're just panicking. That's the way it is. That's the way it happens.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Dayball's on job protection mode now, isn't he? I mean, you can still be losing. You can be losing with Dart, and he keeps his job if you're showing progress. If Dart's showing progress, and Dayball can then say, you know, oh, well, I'm you know, rookie quarterback, and I'm bleeding them in type thing, you know, so it maybe gives him a little bit more of a chance of saving his job than if he sticks with Wilson and you keep getting pummeled.
Well, yeah, true, but just if only they can, obviously, they're If they've been told at the start, yeah, keep them for the year, your job's safe for next year, then that they don't do that. But again, for something like that, they should, because they could rush them in too early. You know what I mean? And then
Well, I mean,
you ruin the boy. So
very much. I mean, there's history of that happening. If we look at like Anthony Richardson and such, chucked him in way too early, and it didn't work out, and now all of a sudden he's sitting on the bench, and Daniel Jones, ironically, is taking over and looking very, very good.
you know me, I was always one for saying that if Daniel Jones always had more than 2 seconds to throw the ball, it'd be okay. But the Giants, you didn't get more than 2 seconds to throw the bloody ball, so that's.
Oh well, that was the problem, but it has been good.
I wasn't a Daniel Jones hater, so I'm not really. I'm glad he's doing well. You know what I mean? So that's yes. We'll see what happens, but obviously he's got a rough matchup for Chargers this week, and I think it's Eagles next week. So chuck him in at the deep end.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't stick with us for a couple more weeks and bring him in after that, But yeah, he's got two hard games coming up, so we'll see how he goes. I can actually see I'm playing against him this week, so that's interesting. And Orkney Bowl, Kirkwall Chargers is starting Jackson Dart, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh,
yeah, as I say, it's
one.
But it's very much. If you've drafted running backs early, I think you'll be quite happy at the moment. A lot of the running backs are going along quite well. Not so much the rookie ones, but the ones that were picked early are all going along quite well. So, and if you went receiver early, then you're a wee bit worried, I think.
Well, I did get a bit laughed at for picking McCaffrey at the 106, I think it was, but he's been doing pretty well so far. And obviously, if you got Taylor in the second, I think Taylor even maybe went in the 4th round in 1 week. It's like, what the hell?
Did he go that late? Did he? That's crazy. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw him. Might have been the 402 or 401. It was pretty late anyway. It might have been 312, but it was he went pretty late in at least 1 league. I'm thinking that's
too late for John. I mean, he was kind of the forgotten man. Him and James Cook was the other one. James Cook was going way too late from what it should have been going. And they've proven that, isn't it? They've proved that at the start of the season.
James Cook was going, oh, well, how much touch is going to get because Josh Allen's going to run it in all the time. Whereas with Jonathan Taylor, as soon as Daniel Jones is made the quarterback, that's when you pick him up. Because he'll throw more than Richardson. But you didn't know what the situation was going to be. So that was a hard one.
A pickup for me all. It was a pickup for me all day long. I mean, he was my keeper and show me the money, and there was no way I wasn't keeping him. I had other options there. I could have kept Brian Thomas, for example, thank goodness didn't do that. There were options there for me, but there was no way I was keeping anyone but JT and Achane, and they've proved that this season. I mean, as I say, in Orkney Bowl, we'll see. I ran into JT this week, 39.5 points, and boom, that's you lost the game. It's done, so it's harsh when you run into them. Him and Josh Allen were the two that absolutely pummeled me this week, but. I always seem to run into something, and it was those two this week.
I think it's one of those years. Apart from the home league, obviously, that's my job. But that's another story because obviously, apparently, I did start Charbonnet in the home league, and he got me 10 points. But then Jackson Smith and Jigba was a complete muppet and had a hold nowhere near the play and pulled back another touchdown for Charbonnet. Not happy.
Oh, did they?
I've
not seen any of the game. I've not seen any of the Thursday night games, so I don't know what happened. I'm not.
I've never seen that, but I saw a clip and it said the most unnecessary foul of the week.
Oh, for goodness sake!
There was nowhere near it, and he got done for holding, and they pulled back a Russian touchdown penalty. Russian touchdown back with a penalty. But it had nothing to do with the
play.
Some players just
Charbonnet owners would have been worried after week 2, but they'd have settled down again after his production in week 3 again. And I think that it's going to be one of those ones over there in Seattle where Walker and Charbonnet are both going to be scoring points, and they can both score in the same week as well. They've shown that as well now, So I wouldn't be. I would personally not be. I would be quite happy having Charbonnet sitting on my bench at the moment, and I wouldn't be too upset about having to start him, I've got to say.
Well, not really, because obviously Walker is made of glass, so sooner or later he will get injured.
Absolutely.
I love watching Gary Walker play. He's a great player, but it's handy to have Charbonnet as a backup just in case. But so
Well,
we'll start with the East Conference today. So we started with the
let's
West the
start
other
with
day.
East. Let's do that.
So we've got the Millhead division. So we've got the Workshop Workhorses. You can remember they're not Darth Rookies anymore. 240.37 against the Bedford Brewskis. 223.16. That's a hell of a game. The Preston Hawks, 145.57. That's Pez's team. Against the Nairn Knights, 210.18. The Bucks Golders under 71.53 against the Chicago Scorpions, 200.39. Plymouth Argyle Browns, Arthur's up to 2-1, 191.17 against the Lee Vikings, 163.32. Then you've got the Edinburgh Thunderbirds get off the mark, 196.74 against the Portsmouth Pirates, 187.86. Then the Laxdale Legends down the bottom there, 210.57 against the Preston Mini Toons, Purell Magnano and Ian, 158.82. So it's been pretty quiet when he's sitting there at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think there's only one 3-0 team here, isn't there? That's the Chicago Scorpions. Are they the only 3-0 team at the moment?
Yep, there's only one 3-0 now.
It's one 3-0 team. So that's nuts in the sense that does that mean there's only one 0-3 team down the bottom, or is there a couple down there?
No, you're right.
But yeah, so it's a great start. Great start to the season for the Chicago Scorpions, and it's exactly what you want. You know, you're sitting there 3-0 and top of the division. You've got a game lead on the second after just 3 weeks. It's got to be feeling good about that. And they're Brock Bowers, who's not done anything yet, sitting there at tight end. You know,
well, he's lost Connor, so he's got a backup.
He's lost Connor there, and that's a big loss.
There you go. He's got J.K. Dobbins and Ollie Gordon. He's got both of those two.
Very much two good options there. You know, it's certainly J.K. Dobbins, and I mean Gordon's an Achan injury away. And Achan's made a glass as well, but he's that from being a very solid pick, you know. So yeah, great start for Chicago Scorpions there, and I mean he's got the right players on the bench this week. You're not going to play Johnson over Bowers. You're just not going to do it, you know. So he's picked the right starting team. I would say I'm a wee bit worried about Dak Prescott with no Lamb for the next couple of weeks. I think that kind of puts the kibosh on start. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be starting Prescott against the Packers defense this week. That just would not be a goer for me at all. So I think he might be fishing about agency looking for one.
Maybe we can find it out when we have a look how they've started. But obviously, the biggest game of the week was the Workshop Rookies, 240.37 against the Bedford Brewskis, 223.16, which would probably be a lot of teams in quite a lot of leagues.
Yeah, you've got to
a bit unlucky with that one.
You got to feel hard done today if you're the Bedford Brewskis, and it's, you know, puts you 1 and 2, and you know what's the difference here? Where's the big difference coming? I mean, Scatterboo scoring 31 points was a massive boost. You know, that's it, and there's JT. Points, you know, but
double there.
These games are going to be won and lost by the likes of JT and Scatterboo. If teams have started, Scatterboo will be on a lot of benches. So the fact that he's had the balls to stick him in and start, he's got his reward for that, you know. And it's
3 points
there you go. It's down in the defense.
The
defense has killed it.
Points.
Well, that's a big difference there too. 17-point difference in the kicker zone, and it just again it goes to show you how important the defense is. Is there anything on the bench that could have saved the day, or was it the right starting lineup?
Well, it's got two quarterbacks on the bench.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing there on the bench that would have helped him out. So he started the right team at least, you know. And I mean, what could have made a bit of a difference, I guess. But in the main, you know, the outfielders, he started the right players, so he's just ran into a score in the Workshop Workhorses, and you know, sometimes that happens, and you just got to wave it off and move on. I wouldn't be worried if I was the Bedford Brewskis not scoring over 200 points. The team's there, the team's solid, and Connor aside, that you know they're all fit. So yeah, good result for Joe as well, beating Pez's Preston Hawks. he'd have been a bit
Yeah, probably got
disappointed
2
with
in
the Goff
1.
Barkley production, especially after the week before, and Derrick Henry. Indeed, I mean Henry and Barkley at running back. Who let him get both Henry and Barkley? That's going to win games in itself. Some weeks,
I wonder if it was like maybe 12 or maybe the 107 and 205 and picked up Barkley and then
yeah,
the next round, something like that. But I can't
absolutely
remember.
must have been. But yeah,
Of course,
that's
Pez
and Nico Collins there too. So yeah, that's going to
never put up Lamb.
garner a lot of points for Joe along
Jesus.
the way if the two of them if they all stay fit,
Well, look at that. He didn't change his team. Well, and he lost McLaren.
Oh, he lost McLaurin and he lost Lamb. So that's difficult for Pez, though. Not just for this week, obviously. I mean, Lamb to lose them both, to lose Lamb without even getting a point was harsh, and I fell into that trap as well. I had Lamb.
Lamb wasn't even on the game, was he not? Was he not out already? So he should.
Oh, he was, yeah. No, he got hurt he got hurt in one of the first plays. He started, yeah. Lamb was there. He got hurt in one of the first plays, and therein lies the problem, because I started him too, and he got 0 points. And if you've got Lamb, pretty much you're going to have lost this week. It's a lot to overcome,
It's the sore one. Well, yeah, but you had, I know, especially as you had his own Horton on the bench, so he need 19 points. Well, they didn't do much this week because I played them in one league.
Yeah, I played them this week as well, and I've played them in a couple of places this week, which breaks my heart, But yeah, I mean, there's another one that's a problem child for Pez there. He's got Hunter there, Travis Hunter, and he seems to be leaning more towards the defense this season so far. And it's, I mean, I know he's getting defensive points for it, but it's a problem when you've got Lamb and you've got McLaurin. I don't think either of them are playing this week, are they? Lamb's definitely
No, they're both out. McLaurin got rolled out last night along with Williams. So Daniels.
So I mean, he's got a win in the cup, but to see that win against Ian, the what was it, like 1 point or 2 points or something that he won by? That looks like it's been a very big win for Pez there to keep him involved and keep him interested in this division, because had he lost that and he was sitting on 3 and he's losing all those players, that's a long way back from that.
It is indeed. We'll see how they're getting on so far this weekend. So the Workshop horses are 21 to 18 ahead of Pez. See if he's done anything yet then, because it's not looking like he's going to do too great. He played Horton, 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, he had to play Horton. He had no option but to play Horton this week. I don't blame him for playing Horton. And he was unlucky because did I not read that Horton dropped one, a bomb touchdown, and he missed it?
I never stayed up to watch it, so I missed that bit. But of course, 21 points to defence, Jones. So
yeah, that's a big performance from the the defence. So it's given Jay a great start there. The Workshop workhorses are looking.
Well, then you've got to think that Green Bay might air it out against that Dallas secondary.
So they will, yeah.
Could have like a game of his career.
Jordan loves an auto start. I'm starting Golden over Deebo Samuel and Show Me the Money in the home league, because I think it's just who they're playing against. But yeah, I mean, it's not looking good for Pez there. I've got to say, at least 1 and 3. As I say, he's got the 1 on the board, so he's not dead yet. But the replacing those injuries is going to be a problem for him. He'll need them back sooner rather than later. And a good start for Gary there as well. The Bucks Gold Rush, they've got 21 points against Edinburgh Thunderbirds 16. So again, it's another one Gary really needs a win.
The second highest scoring team last week loses, come up against the 3-0 Chicago Scorpions. This week, that's a bit
yeah, that'll be a big game either way, And as I say, it's there's a lot of 1 and 2s in this league, and 1 and 2, kind of going 1 and 3, 1 and 4. It's a slippery slope at that point, So the 1 and 2 is big games for them all round, really, But yeah, this week's very much a start all your Packers receivers. I mean, I'd be happy starting Wicks. I'd be happy starting. I've even think in a deep league, I've got Musgrave in just in case he gets a couple of catches,
I'd probably chuck in, maybe pick up Parkinson, who scored a touchdown. Is it Parkinson, the tight end, who scored last week?
Yeah,
who the hell is that?
Yeah, but It's I definitely think that, but you've got to pick these players again with their matchups, you know, and our matchup this week obviously is. But when you see what's happened, but as you say, Russell Wilson in week 2 going to town on Dallas defense, and then Caleb Blooming Williams throwing so much on them, you have to think it's going to be a good week for Jordan Love this week. I'll be very, very disappointed if it's not, I've got to say. So it's start your Packers.
And of course, you might be muting the chat if it ends up the wrong way because I think you'll be getting lots of abuse. We'll go on to our division. We've got Queen Hill. So obviously Ayers 241.92 against the Rotherham Raiders 156.62. You got the Hot Dogs 182.23 against the Glossop Pine Gophers 135. Got the Newcastle Buccaneers against the Preston Panthers 195 to 180. The Kirkwall Chargers 190.45 against the Top Head Niners 159.11. The Blackpool Panthers 205.69 against the Bottom Bears 249.07. Then you got the Aberdeen Bucks 223.42 against the Edinburgh Packers 151.13. I think we've got 4 3-0s in this one.
There are 4 3-0s. There are no 2-1s, Johnny, in our division, not a single 2-1. So this division is completely different from the last one. And that, you know, there's only 4 teams to winning record in here, but they're all 3-0. And see, for myself and for the Glossop Fighting Gophers down there on 0-3, I mean, yes, we're only 1 win away from 6th place, but
that's crazy, right?
There's 4 teams that are already 3 games ahead of us, you know. If we go 0-4 and those 4, those 4 teams win, that's unassailable for me. A 4 game difference is unassailable, I would say. So yeah, it's very quickly going to become a fight, a scramble for 6th if we don't get off the board this week. And yeah, it's not looking good for me, I've got to say.
Yeah, you got, what's the bench like? Stroud, Scott. I picked him up in a few leagues just for the hell of it because you'll get something.
Yeah, chopped him up. I left the book on the bench because he was going to be on a snap count, you know. So I left him on the bench, and obviously he scored. But I lost Lamb. To the injury, and that was the biggest that was the biggest problem of the game.
Did you lose Williams as well, or did he? It was an injured reserve.
Yeah, I lost Quincy Williams too. I lost him too, and he's now on IR as well. But my running backs, you know, Brown and Hubbard barely crawled over 20 points, and Lawrence done nothing. So yeah, I get well and truly smashed this week.
Like, I was watching the games on I had like 4 games on one as well as another game over here, and Hubbard, for a bit near the end of the game, it was more Dowdle was playing.
It was, yeah.
Dowdle got
about 10 points this week.
And Hubbard's having a leg problem. I wonder if he was feeling a bit sore last week. That's why Dowdle was taking more snaps. But
the problem is I've got nobody, and I mean nobody to replace him. So yeah, it's not looking good for me, Johnny. I'm kind of starting to, you know, that see at this stage, with the way this team is and the way this team looks, it's now at the stage where it just that's it. You know, you kind of give up on it for the year. And any other format, but see, in this format, you can't do that. You got to keep scraping on because you got to avoid relegation. You know, you don't want to go down. The pride in itself tells me I don't want to go down. So yeah, so I've got to keep fighting on it and hope that it turns around. You know, and it's not looking good for any. You know, there's Fraser. Over 200 points again, but losing, you know, and Doug as well, 1 and 2 and losing. So it's not looking good for us, us Scots up here in this division. That's for sure. We're all getting pummeled a little bit. Apart from your good self, you're fighting the fight up at the top and scoring very well too, Johnny. So your team must be solid. I take it you're very happy with how it's going at the moment.
I am in the end, but it's always a bit nervy because there's like nothing seems to happen, and I get like points near the end. Or like Irvin didn't really do much, 6 yards, but he got a couple of receiving ones.
Wilson got a garbage time touchdown, didn't he? But which then became not so much a garbage time touchdown because Tampa done their best to let them back in.
Well, that's the thing about Tampa. The other team's back in, so Baker gets the ball back at the end to go down the field. And obviously Sutton had a good game. Goddard did nothing much. I'm glad I kept Hawkinson in. I just thought he might get more targets instead of with
Wentz. Yeah, that was a good call leaving them in.
And McQueen, but Henley did after his big 28-pointer on Monday. He was ill all week. I shouldn't have played him because he was ill. He played. I could have put Landman in, but he didn't do much different. I'm glad I didn't put Sanders in. But
Well,
no,
you've
it was
got
good.
Jurkins there as well, who's an auto start for this week. I would imagine that's he'll
well,
be
that's
getting
the thing.
plugged in.
He was I couldn't believe he was an agency. I was like,
Oh, was he an
snap him up
agency?
right
Was
away.
he? That's like,
yeah,
yeah,
somebody
I
put him
missed
on
that.
agency. I
That's
picked him up
great
right
pick
away.
up.
So
I could have really done with I could have really done with him as well because my running backs at room is a severe problem in here. But yeah, no, that's you're looking strong there, Johnny. You're 3-0. Get that promotion into Division 2. Adams might be a problem this week. Have you got to play?
well,
You know,
apparently he's playing. So
is he playing? Is he? But
I
it
saw
worries
somebody
me still.
yesterday. Yeah.
Have you got any thoughts of benching him, given the fact that he is hurt and it's a genuine
Well,
hamstring problem?
Don't know if I have yet, but I've maybe got somebody as backup. But the problem is he's at the 9:25 time or 9:10 or 9:05, so I can't have the auto pick to take over in case he gets dropped out. So I have to keep an eye on it and pick somebody up. It's going to be tough with the game at 2:30 and the game in the golf one because I'll be watching the singles as well. So.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's a problem for this weekend, isn't it? It's a major. Listen, we're 3-1 up right now. By the time Red Zone starts at 6 o'clock, I'm thinking this Ryder Cup's going to be in the bank. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I know it's crazy, because obviously it just shows that it's early to tell, but that Europeans play better as a team because obviously floorball, you're in a team, but you're still playing your own score.
Yeah,
the Americans played better last night than they did in the foursomes, and the Europeans seem to play well with each other instead of playing beside each other, if you know what I mean. But no,
I'm going to give them a smashing. But yeah, no, that's so we're looking.
So, yeah, it's looking good.
But
we'll see the latest scores anyway. Nobody played in my game yet.
You know, and you're up against Fraser this week. You're up against Fraser, so that's a big one for Fraser. He could really do with getting the win there and getting back to 2-2. You know, but
I've got Mayfield questionable too, but I've got Stafford on the bench.
Yeah, so that's fine. Then you're fine there. But
did I pick somebody up? I think I maybe did.
Oh, that's
I picked up
got something
Whittington.
next to his name there. And Fraser's team, Edwards looked like he had something next to his name there.
Oh, he's out.
He's out, yeah. So he's going to have to go. Good to know because I've got him in a league.
Young on the bench.
Put him in. So he's going to be playing Young then. So yeah, I mean, it looks a close game in paper to me. I've got to say it looks very close. But you done well not to play Hortner. Yeah, that was a good call. You could have easily slotted him in. So
what I did was I dropped Booty and I picked up Whittington because if I have to play Stafford, I might as well stack him up with Whittington, who is a third receiver.
And Adams.
So, and if Adams goes out, Whittington will play.
Oh yeah, you'll put that's it. If Adams goes out, then you put Whittington in with Stafford. So that's a good call.
I've covered just in case because obviously my running backs are good, tight ends are okay, but I've only got 4 wide receivers. I've got 5 now, but again, it's a bit iffy with it. I had them covered up for over bye weeks, but I didn't really go over the top of wide receivers. I wanted catching running backs, so.
Yeah, you need to hit bench running backs. They get hurt so often. Good start for Hot Shots, Hot Dogs.
Yeah,
42 points.
And that's the one. Oh, obviously James has got to change Daniels. Who's you got on the bench? Tua. The Jets defense isn't as good as it normally is, so you never know. Well, yeah, it's
that Jones lad there for 21 points, and then Marv finally showed up, stopped being a cat, and finally showed up and picked up some valuable points for these owners.
Then he didn't. He tipped an easy pass in the air for an interception.
It just doesn't look as the player that we all thought he was, does he? It's he's still young, it's still early, he can still kick back in, but their Doug's off to a start, and of course I've got 21.4 points as well. I've had him. That's Trey McBride for me. So, but yeah, my game's not looking good for me. I'm up against Kirkwall Chargers, and they're heavy favourites, 60% to 40% favourites.
And there's a 3-0 against a 3-0. Aberdeen Bucks against the Bottom Bears, so one of them is going to lose.
Well, but one of them's going to win more to the point, and the one who wins has got to be thinking that's me as good as one foot. That's 1 foot in the playoffs if you start 4-0. So big game for both of them, I would say. If you want to get it in nice and early, get yourself away, and
Well,
you can
look at your
start thinking about
Siegfried.
playoffs at that point.
You can say what you want, but you've been up against 712 points.
I have been, but I've not exactly scored massively either. Is the problem? 190, 180, and 150 odd. It's not the 0-3 that bothers me as much as my scoring that bothers me. So yeah, it's not looking good for me, but it's looking very, very good for you, Johnny, in the division. I've got to say, I think you're favourite for winning it now.
Oh, it's a long way to go, but I'll be happy being 3-0. So I'll go to Yesnavy. So we've got the Newcastle Chupacabras, 147-12 against the Warners Bay Goonies, 198-21. The Sarans Flyers marked 159-19, lost to the New Barstow Masters 206.85. The Waternorton Warriors are 249.76 against the Darlington Rams 172-12. Solihull Sharks 178.97 against the Yorkshire Pins 200.36. Arcadia Redwolves 163.62 against Ancoats Citizens 166.80. So that was a close one. And the Leeds Leopards 185.91 against EK Colts 243.28. So this one had less than 3 points, just over 3 points between them. What's the difference between 1 and 2 and 0 and 3?
It's massive to get the win on 166 points as well, isn't it? That's just that's huge to manage to sneak that out there.
Definitely, it must be the defence. No, geez.
So yeah, I mean, it's just a whole bunch of mediocrity on the left here, isn't it?
Yeah, 20 points for the kicker and 33 points compared to 28 points for the defence. But in fact, the look usually gets still lost, Yeah.
But yeah, Bowers was a problem in it. I mean, there's definitely, you can just look at that and say it was a bad day at the office. Bowers has done nothing. Loveland's done nothing. Patch, I mean, you're playing three tight ends. You're kind of walking into it. I'm sorry, but, I get it. It's a tight end premium and all that, but it's only a tight end premium when you actually get the ball and they catch the ball. And yes, they're going to have big weeks, but they're also going to have bad weeks. And to start 3 of them, I think, OTT, you're never going to get, very rarely you're going to get all 3 absolutely knocking it out of the park. And herein lies the exact problem with starting 3 tight ends. None of them fired, so they lost, and they lost by 3 points. Now if we go down onto the bench and see what's there, who's there that could have started.
Crosby.
It's just another tight end, I guess. Yeah, there's nothing there to start because they've got. I mean, they had no option. I guess there was no option. Maybe Dowdle could have started, but yeah, it's the Arcadia Red Wolves. It's hard. It's hard to play the 3 tight end and win, and that was the problem there in the end for me. It's too many tight ends.
I think in year 1, the ones that really sussed out the rules managed to pick up the 3 good tight ends, Ken early, and then that was the difference. But this year, there's not really been 3 standout tight ends.
I mean, there hasn't. That's the problem. And then
Ken Tucker-Craft had a good week. Yeah, you'll get your point. You'll get your points of McBride, but it's still not been that many high scores.
Bowers, no touchdowns, Johnny. No touchdowns. No touchdowns for McBride. Bowers has been injured. Kittle got IR, and there's the top 3. There was the top 3 off straight away. So the tight ends have not been firing yet, and there's not a single tight end who scored really well all 3 weeks. Not one.
No.
So yeah, it just goes to show you it's a tight one.
So poor Martin was 2-0, but he's now 2-1 after being.
Yeah, again, his team just haven't shown up this week. And I mean, Prescott's done okay. Bejan's done okay. Walker's done okay. He's lost Lamb. There you go. Ding, 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 ding. Drake London as well. I mean, it's a worry if you've went Drake London because, he was that kind of second round pick in the main. And he's just not, you worry that Penix doesn't look as good as all that. And it looks like Penix is going to take time to settle, which worries me. But I mean, with 2 wins on the board, you've kind of got the time for them to settle. I mean, those 2 defenders are going to do a lot better than that as well. Yeah, Landman's been very good for 2 weeks, and Cooper's been magnificent. It was just one of those games for us, really. Yeah. They ran the ball constant, so it was.
Would you play Dubes this week?
100%. You have to play Dubes this week,
I think,
Martin.
likely's back to training, so I wonder if that'll affect Andrews so much, because obviously Andrews only get more targets.
I think it'll definitely affect Andrews. I think likely in back end of the season he's going to be the one that's getting the majority of the targets over Andrews. But in saying that, I don't think you can start him now. I don't think you start in week one of him coming back. You know, you wait and see what
Oh God,
happens
no.
first.
A couple of weeks.
And
It's such
what
a
Warriors, they're absolutely
200.
flying. So they are. They're beating the Darlington Rams here, giving Sam a good going over. But that's another win, 3-0, and I think the only 3-0 team in this division. So looking very strong.
Yep. But they've got 6-2-1s.
See, this is where you've got this is a different the
2-1-3s.
complete opposite division from ours, and that see those 0-3s there, Leeds Leopards and Arcadia Red Bulls. If they don't get going soon, I mean, sixth place is 2 wins ahead of them, and that's a problem as well. You know, they're 2 behind the playoffs already. So yeah, those guys need to really get their finger out and get moving, or the season could get away from them very quickly, and it could become all about not getting relegated.
Oh, got a big game there. You got the Saracens Flyers against the Warners Bay Goonies. So that'll be a good one. Sanders 15-point start. Waterloo Warriors should be 4-0. The Newcastle Masters are up against the Solihull Sharks. That's 2-1-2s. And you've got 2-2-1s. Ancoats Citizen after scraping the win coming up against the Darlington Rams. Sam has started 2-0. I think they were like at the top as well, and they seem to have slipped away. So what's happening with them?
It'll be injuries out there. There you go. He's got Mike Evans sitting there, so he's still got to switch Mike Evans out, which I'm sure Sam will do.
He did fuck all last week too, to be honest.
Yeah. Flowers will be fine. No, Flowers is going to be absolutely fine. Of course, you play Kraft this week with the matchup, you know, and
plus it's a week after the
I mean, he's got Mixon and Harris are taking up spots on the bench. But I mean, Mixon's not going to play this year, is he? I don't think Mixon's going to see the field this year at all.
I wouldn't be surprised if he retired.
They're in lad, exactly. That's what I think is going to happen. And but Leeds Leopards and Arcadia Red Bulls desperate for the wins, and I mean, both are off to a start at least. You know, both have got points on the board already, but both are second favourites. So their games that they're going to need to turn around. They're going to need to get the wins on the board soon. And 2-2-1 teams as well. It would be great to kind of keep them at 2-2. So big weeks for Matty Leo and SBG.
It is indeed. So we've got the top division. So we've got Magnus. So we've got our boy Sean, who hasn't changed his team name, even though I've asked him. The Newcastle Colts, 109.69 against the Godalming Goats, 170.96. Leeds Lancers, 165.57 up against the Graham and the Glasgow Eagles, 192.87. The Manchester Bees, 187.87 against the Stockholm Bengals, 168.36. Leicester Tigers, 180.79 against the really low scoring, unusually, Seattle Patriots, 110.65. The Whitford Rockstars with Jacks, 203 against 194, the Carlton Crew, who are usually the higher scoring teams too. The Dublin Everton Brews, 179.12 against the Harrow Harlequins, 213.71.
Yes, Manchester Bees. They won the East last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
they were the East champions.
They were.
So they're putting their stamp down again this year. Look at them 3-0 and running away again. The only team at 3-0 and looking very strong. And that's with Genty not doing a whole lot and who's only going to get better as the season goes on. You know, Hunter there as well. I mean, you can see there's holes in that team, and yet they're 3-0 and moving forward and moving on. And the holes are going to get better as the season goes on. So yeah, if I'm in that division, I'm very worried that Manchester Bees are looking too strong.
They didn't even take out Sharpney, who wasn't playing the other team. No, it really it may have made a difference actually. A Stockholm member is actually taking out Charbonnet. Who did you have to replace him? Pierce or Quentin Johnston?
I mean, you would why is you wouldn't bring why bring Hugh in and not play him? I mean, he's scoring so many points week in week out. He has to be a no start for me. And Jake Ferguson. I mean, I get maybe leaving him on the bench if you've got a second decent one, but for me, he's an auto starter as well. I've got to say.
Oh, especially with Lamb being out, he's definitely not starting.
Oh, right now, yeah, he's got to be, but he should have been
So
starting.
that's the difference. That's been 3-0 and 2-1 is not replacing Charbonnet.
And that could have easily went the other way. I mean, one of the teams had to lose their role, you know. So it was Stoke and Bengals, bad selections, I guess. But yeah, good win for Graham as well. Puts him up to 2-1. After he's starting show me the money, he needs to hang his hat on something, doesn't he? So it looks like he might be hanging his hat on.
I'm not talking about show me the money.
AJ Brown, 29, 25.5 points. That's relief for AJ Brown owners, isn't it? Because he finally showed that he is the player that everybody knows that he is. You know,
I think he was
still that beast.
He was maybe about 3 points at half time.
The problem you've got with AJ Brown and AJ Brown owners, and I've just traded into him again on the Pez Dynasty, but it was a ridiculously silly offer. I couldn't say no. But yeah, it was the thing about AJ Brown is they don't need to throw the ball often, you know. The run game and the defense will win the Eagles many, many games. And when it does, AJ Brown has proved he's more than happy to sit it out and just let them take over. And he doesn't throw his toys out the pram and he doesn't insist on the ball. Ultimate teammate. I'm not so sure it's brilliant for fantasy, though. You want that wee bit of greed in the player, don't you?
Yeah, well, he sort of calmed down a bit because he used to always moan like not getting the ball. But where was a closer one? The difference between 2-1 and 1-2. Well, Josh Allen.
Good win for Jackson as well. Just under 10 points of a difference here. So yeah, I mean Montgomery Monday night game as well. You know, so I don't think he wouldn't have expected that from Montgomery Monday night. So I would have thought that Jackson would have went into this Monday night here expecting to lose and would have woke up Tuesday morning a very happy camper.
Yeah, no, don't. Yeah, 100. Was it a 70-yard rush he had? 72-yard rush he had.
Yeah, right at the end for touchdown
number
2.
Well, no, he got caught in the 30-yard thing, it was. But I think it's funny as hell, though, that if that had been Gibbs, they wouldn't have caught him. Because it was in they run out of steam. But it just opened up perfect when he was gone. But I think it was like 72 yards. He got caught on like the 20-yard line because they were stuck back at near their own goal line. But it was a cracking run. But you could see him running going, that was Gibbs, they weren't catching him.
Yeah, he
was getting slower and slower. It's like, I'm fucking knackered.
I think he'll be fine, Montgomery. You know, he'll get his points, but he's not going to have the production that he had last year, the year before type thing. Not for me. I think he's going to have too many quiet games, Montgomery, this year. As Gibbs takes over more and more and more. And now Shawnee finally gets off the mark. Yeah, I mean, JT's going to win on games on his own, but he's lost Evans, which is a problem. And Jacobs is becoming a little bit of an issue in the sense that he's, you know, a couple of bad games now for Josh Jacobs, and I'm starting to worry that, you know, he's not going to be as strong fantasy-wise this season.
He's been carrying a bit of an injury, though. It doesn't really help. But
no, it doesn't.
But that's, you know, to be honest, he's done bugger all.
If you're playing, then you forget about the injury. For me, if you're out there on the field, then I want to see it, you know. And if the injury's bothering you, then don't be out there. But yeah, I mean, he's got a few issues there, Shawnee boy, with his Naj and Eckler there. So running back issue looks like it. You know, Rodriguez got the first two plays, which was quite a surprise, but. It's a good win for him. He's off the mark, and it brings him right back into the chase, you know. So that's a good thing for him. He's got a big game this week against the fellow 2-1 Stoke and Bengals. So
should be a close one.
You know, if he can win that and get not fellow, sorry, he's only 1-2. But if he can win that and get them both back to 2-2, that really does bring them back into the hunt. Manchester Bees got the Carlton Crew this week. That's a big game as well because the Carlton Crew, like you say, they're always big scorers, good scorers. Not started
they're usually one of the highest scorers so well, but
you would think they've got a chance. You know, they'll be fighting away. They'll be looking to turn that round. And what better time to do it than when you're playing against the only undefeated team in the division? You know, so a big game there for
that would definitely tie up all that. Oh Jesus! Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Yeah, Seattle Patriots is Seven
Yeah,
wins
I mean
usually is
they're
getting
going to
that
need
like,
a win again. Two wins behind sixth place already. They're going to need a win. Seattle Patriots, they need to get off the mark.
Indeed, but good luck everybody there. So we've got the Dwarfy staying season Division 4 on the West Conference. You've got Rhino Cardinals 210.87 against the Cork Red Army 193.40. Not a lot in that one. The Augusta Wolfpack 204.02 against the Peterhead Bloody Jets 166. Plymouth Assassins 182.09 against the Bangor Sharks 191.40. That was a battle of the 0-2s. Newcastle Magpies 155 against the Q Kings 214.49. The Thorwood Patriots 188.27 against the high-flying Trinity Flyers 243.09. Then you've got the high-flying Birmingham Patriots 210 up against the Clemson Marines 170. I think that was the two new boys this year, so it was a bit of a little derby match for the new season. But yeah, it's Trinity Flyers used to be the Wakefield 49ers, and they changed their name as the season started. Obviously, the name changes helped.
Massive score this week, 243 points. I mean, that has been, you know, the scoring has been down on this in the prior season, and it's so that has been right up there with the scoring of that this year. And yeah, you can see why. You know, he's played Ferguson, which was a massive score for tight end this week. He'll have won quite a few Folklore games, and I expected the defence to be solid there, and of course there it is, 28.5 and 17.5. That's a huge score. And you know, when you can get two good scores in your defence, it really does prop it up something special. And he's got options there on the bench as well. So yeah, looking very strong for the Trinity Flyers at 3-0 and 243 points.
So
I mean, there's three of them sitting there at 3-0, you know. So
yeah,
and this is there is no relegation out of here, you know. So the 0-3s are going to be start, but then the 0-3s, when sixth place is a losing record as well, nobody's out of it yet, you know. When that sixth place is 2-1, it makes such a bigger difference between 2-1 and 1-2 and sixth, you know. All the way down to 10th is just 1 win out. So
obviously, if you finish in sixth place, you just have to win one game in the playoff to get into the promotion.
That's it, exactly. So
you can scrape into sixth place, beat the team in third, you're through. So you just have to get to here. You don't have to get to up here, you have to get to about here. So
that's target's always top 6 to begin the season, you know. It's always just getting to the playoffs. But yeah, 3-0 teams are flying, and you don't want to let too many get away at the top. You know, you want as many as possible in the scramble for the playoff places, because the more that are away, the less places there is, the less chance you've got, obviously, you know. So whoever the 3-0s are playing this week, they could really do the league favours and win it. Even Plymouth Assassins, they really need to win that game against Trinity Flyers. They can't be going 4 games behind them this early in the season, because, as I say, I think 4 games behind is unassailable. You're not catching them.
Well, you've got the Rhino Cardinals predicted to lose against York and the Bangor Sharks. Yeah, you go. The Birmingham Patriots are playing the Thorwood. So it's a Patriots derby. It's projected to be closest game too, but
Patriots derby, but yeah, that's
a close game. So.
It's they're very big, these games, you know. The 3-0s, for the rest of the league, the 3-0s need to be knocked off their perch, and all 3 of them have got to play other teams, you know, so they can't all be 4-0. If the 3 of them are 4-0 going into next week, then they've got such a kick on the rest of the division that it would be hard to see them not making the playoffs at that point, and that's after just 4 weeks.
Yeah, true. But then you can start 10-0 and just make it into the playoffs and not win the division. Yeah, Martin.
It should all be about first things first, get promoted.
Yeah, get promoted. You get the Manchester Spinners, 189. Well, that's the thing. If you finish in the top 2 in your division, you're guaranteed promotion, because the top 4
that's if you can get the top 2.
Because you get the bye. So you get the Manchester Spinners 189.71 against the Bondereg Cheeseheads 208.21. The Norwich Mustard Men are 212 against the Birmingham Bears 184. The Blue Toon Texans 172 against the Lagers Lemons, who actually won a game. 205 they got this week. The Darlington Dragons 200 against the Kavik Porkers, 218.47. So Pork's 2-1. The Dobos Darlow Diamonds 197 against the Guildford Raptors 168. And the Not Cold Knockouts 211 against the London Eagles 116. Let's go
So
look at
this is
Pork
all
then.
about the Norwich Mustard Men being the only 3-0 team, so they'll be over the moon. But yeah, here's Pork Pork's got another win. So 218 points, a big score. I mean, Darlington Dragons have got to feel hard done to over 200 and losing, but then they've run into slightly better. And yeah, Pork's must be delighted with these 2-1. He certainly looks like he's picking the right players, putting the right players in the starting lineup. He's played Pearsall at the right time.
Yeah.
He's played Hawkinson on in a flex spot, and it's worked out very well for him. But then he's tried, and again, I hark back to the whole tight end situation where you play too many tight ends and one of them's going to let you down. It's not hurt him here, luckily for him. It's not hurt him at all.
Although look
But
at his
it's the
bench.
issue with playing so many tight ends; they're not all that great, and his bench is truly awful at the moment. So yeah, I mean he's going along. He's going along well, but I think Kelly's a couple of injuries away from being in a whole lot of trouble. So get the wins on the
Or bye
board when you
weeks.
can, and then you can maybe weather the storm of a couple of injuries. The thing, Darlington Dragons, they look just fine. I love the running back room there at Hampton and Scatterbout. Just
It's awesome.
purely because the two of them now have their backfields to themselves, and you really should be kicking on massively now. I think both of them could be very good over the next few weeks. You
I
still
think
get Worthy on the bench to come back.
He's back this week, I think, Worthy. So
Yeah,
it's
so
21 points
I would
on the bench. He's just 21 points.
I would
And
not
then
be worried if I was Darlington Dragons. I get why he's left him on the bench. So Singleton, he's not done well the last couple of weeks, but he's very, very
He's just
capable.
back from injury, though. He got
that's
injured
the
last year
thing,
for the
yeah.
whole season. So, but like years before, he'd been one of the highest scorers in the whole league. But it's just getting him back to fitness, I think. But
it's another option for him. So yeah, I would not be worried. Darlington Dragons look very strong there and sitting at 1 and 2. But yeah, Norwich Mustard Men, the only 3-0 team. If they can get another 1 or 2 on the board, if they win 2 of the next 3, then they're absolutely laughing. But and they've got, I mean, Etienne's got the backfield himself as well. There's very much good options there, looking very strong. Obviously, Diggs. Rome's very much became the Chicago #1 now, and I think he'll just kick on and keep getting stronger and stronger as the season goes on as well. There, so again, I'm very
hasn't done much though.
Good, yeah. Well, Diggs is a problem, isn't it? But I think the more if May keeps going the way he's going this season, Diggs will get more production. I definitely think Diggs will get more production, and I mean, he's got kind of options on the bench. I've got, the kind of Bateman's there as well, Austin's there, you've got Gordon there, guys who have the one injury in front of them and they're all of a sudden very relevant. Braylon Allen, Brian Robinson, all the three of them are one injury away from being bell cows. So looking strong for the Norwich Mustard Men. Birmingham Bears have got problems in that they've got to get rid of Evans as well, so replace Evans, and at 1 and 2 it's going to be a bit of a problem for Jack, I would think.
So anybody played so far then? So we've got 3-0 against the 2-1, so that'd be a good one for the Cheeseheads to get that one. But it's going to be a close one. Manchester Spinners 1 and 2 against the Laggards with Lemons 1 and 2. Another 1 and 2. Dobers Darlows are up against the Bluetoon Texans. They're 0 and 3. Kavik Porkers, so they're up against the London Eagles, who had a pretty low score last week, so I don't know why they were so low. But
yeah, it was a real. I mean, there you go. Derek Henry had a bad week, and
even Crosby Merritt, to be honest.
Henry's going to be fine going forward. He's going to be fine, but he has shown he's human over the last 2 weeks, and that can be a bit of a problem. Stevenson for me is a problem as well because not 1 fumble but 2 fumbles. That was
the thing, was that he fumbled twice. Then Gibson came in and fumbled.
Gibson fumbled.
I'm pretty sure May fumbled as well. They gave that game away.
Very, very strong.
They threw that game away. They should have won that game fucking easy.
Oh, totally. Totally,
fumbles
but
are
they
just
do have
killing them.
Carolina this week, so it's a good chance for them to bounce back. And I mean, I wouldn't.
Mhm.
I'm not saying you can't start Stevenson yet, because Stevenson's still going to get plenty of touches with the ball. So I do think you can still start him comfortably enough. But
I think I've dropped him in the
I
league.
think it's going to be Henderson's backfield, and but the second half of the season, I think Henderson will totally take over in there.
I think I dropped him in the dynasty because I was bringing Judkins off my taxi squad. I was like, okay, no, that'll be.
No, I mean
Yeah.
he's certainly not one I'd be dropping at the moment, but come the back end of the season, I think it's going to be trouble. And here you go, in here the 6 spots 2 and 1, I get over 1 and 2, so anyone who's on 3 at the bottom, Bluetooth Texans or Michael, who's fessed up to having an absolute nightmare this season, as down there at 0 and 3 and struggling. It's if he doesn't get that win on the board soon, it could be that he's fighting fighting off relegation later on this season.
He
But
just got promoted and he's
long
going to
way
go
back
back
for
again.
him.
But I know he did well last year because he got beat in the final of the Rousey Cup as well because he was scoring well when he got promoted.
He had the run in the Rousey Cup, but yeah, hopefully he'll bounce back and get that win the next week or two just to get him off the board and running.
So we've got Maze House, the Southampton Dockers. Although he's called himself Southampton, 215 points, 195 for the Lancashire Bombers. The Glasgow Lightnings 185 against the Birmingham Master Chiefs, 170 points. The Nottingham Rebels 235 against Poor Aaron, 223. So that was a bit of a sore loss. Sandbach Saints, the highest scorers in the league, 181.65 against the Chester Hurricanes, 179. The Whitford Educators, 173 against 150 for the Whitchurch Warriors. And our Everett up against Del Boy, 194 for Everett and 180 points for the Kilmarnock Kings. So we'll do that one first, Derek.
Yeah, lovely win for Everett, and knocking off Derek's Kilmarnock Kings, 2 and 1 versus 1 and 2. Such a massive difference now, and that's with starting Russell Wilson and starting Connor. So that's 2 big decisions that Everett's got to make this week. He's got to get those 2 both out very, very quickly. Derek's got Evans to get, and this is what every team that we look into. I bet you we see someone there's a one problem or another in it, that someone that needs to be replaced. So yeah, Derek's got Stevenson as well. I mean, as I say, I think Stevenson's okay to start this week. I just think as the season goes on, he's going to be less and less okay to start.
I wonder if Everett you would not have played him, but 47 points for Tucker.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be starting Tucker last week. The thing is that the problem Derek's got there is you're going to start him this week, and this is the week where he gets absolutely nothing, So it's more of a problem to me. I've not picked Tucker up anywhere, but he does have Ian Manor there, who looks very, very strong, and looks like he'll get better as the season goes on. Of course, Tyreek Hill on the bench, so there's plenty of options there for Derek. He has maybe too many options, and that's a problem.
I wouldn't be dropping Pittman. Maybe playing with Jones as quarterback. I'd play Pittman. But
if I'm Everett, I would start Wicks this week for the Dallas effect. But yeah, I mean, it's a great win for Everett, and it puts him now 2 and 1. So he can start to relax a little bit. He's got a little bit of breathing space. Not so good for Derek. And then when you look at there's teams winning with 173 points, 179 points, and then poor Aaron on 220 points lost. So that's
what it gets for me topping 100 in the home league and beating me.
That is a problem for him now, and I mean, the 223 points, you can't be disappointed at scoring that amount of points. It means that your team's playing well, it means that it's going well, but he's 0-3, and he needs to get that 1 on the board. Once he gets the 1 on the board, more may follow, but until you get the first one on the board, you're going nowhere. So it's a big week for Aaron this week. I mean, there's no real major issues there. He's got no real major injury problems. He's got Worthy on the bench. He's got Tillman on the bench. He's got options, The problem is that he ran into a bigger score, and it's just the way it goes sometimes. AJ Brown's bounced back. Taylor's had a massive game, and it's all added up to the Nottingham Rebels just getting slightly more than him. I mean, Gibbs nearly got him there on the Monday night, but it just wasn't. if Montgomery didn't take so many of them and Gibbs could have been more greedy and taken Montgomery's share as well, then he might have won the game. But alas, it's not the way it goes. And he's 0-3 and he's in trouble. And there are 2 3-0s in this league. So
yeah, the Sandbag Satans, obviously the highest scoring team in the league after their first 2 weeks. So that's well, the 275 the first week, 200 odds last week, and they're getting lower.
Southampton Dockers.
Yeah.
So
you
know the
6 spots, 2 and 1.
6 spots, 2 and 1, which makes a big difference to the 0-3s. It really does. You know, it means you're 2 behind. And yeah, the Birmingham Master Chiefs and Royal Raiders, they need to get moving. But I mean, as I say, I mean, Aaron's scoring was decent this week. You know, it's not awful. So you got to. He's got and Birmingham Master Chiefs at 536. It's not brilliant, but it's not awful either. You know, there'll be wins in them. It's just a case of getting them out now. You know, they need to win now.
The Whitford Educators are 526 and they're sitting in 6th place.
That's
it.
You know,
you come up against. So.
And there are teams that have scored over 600 as well, you know, at the top there. So it's the top end of it. So, you know, it's not awful, but it's not great, and they need to bounce.
So the Glasgow Lightning are up against the Southampton Dockers, so there's a good chance that they might beat them. Aaron's up against Daniel, Page's pal, D-Love, who's got a 56-point start, but still predicted to lose by 10.
So yeah, that's nuts, isn't it? That's crazy. He's got 56 points on the board already. That must be at least 3 players, I would think.
And then the Birmingham Master Chiefs have won, and so well, yeah, Sam Darnold, Trey Benson, and Trey McBride.
So yeah, 3 that went pretty decent too. You know, so it is a great start for. It is a great start, but if Aaron's still favourite, then Aaron's still favourite. You know, but certainly he's behind, and Lancashire Bombers have got a great start. But the Birmingham Master Chiefs also favourites to win from 0-3. So it just goes to show that both 0-3 teams in this aren't doing terrible. They aren't doing bad. They're kind of just running into things and being unlucky to the fact that their team's looking very strong, but they're 0-3.
Yeah, but it's up against the Sandbag Satans anyway. Oh, because there's no change. Daniels out.
Yeah, he's just not changed Daniels out. He'll need to do that. Who's he got in the bench for it?
Jackson Dart, Tino Smith.
Oh, he's got Smith as well, so he's got options. As I say, you know what I think about holding too many quarterbacks, but
I'm guessing he's not long picked up. Maybe Jackson Dart. Yeah, he picked him up on Thursday in the waivers. For Russell Wilson for $11.
The question is he going to have the bollocks to put him in straight away, or is he going to play? Is he going to take the chickens way out and just chuck in Gino? So that a big decision. Will be interesting to see what Everett does there. Has he got the kahunas to stick him in? He's picked him up. Now go stick him
in. Yeah, that'd be fun. I'll let you read the scores for the last one. Because me through starting to get a bit.
Yeah, no bother. So the Melbourne Supremacy, this is Division 1 as well. So this is the chasing the title this year. The Orkney Bowl champions will come from either here or Division 1 in the East. And the Melbourne Supremacy are 3-0, so great start to the season, 195 points against Gothenburg Angels, who have been a disappointment so far this year, 173. Then Darlow Destroyers, defending champions, 208 points, move also to 3-0. So both the finalists from last year are 3-0 against the Belfast Benchwarmers, 177. The Crew Juggernauts got off the mark, 226 points against the Dickens Heath Demons, who can feel hard done to with 205 points. Portland Lumberjacks, another 3-0, 224 points against the Bognor Regis Falcons, 190. Is that 153? And sitting at 0-3 now and in trouble. South London Rebels have won the Rousey Cup.
I think the Bognor Regis Falcons lost in the final of division final last year in the Happy Valley. And they weren't in the Super but they were beating finalists in the division final. So
fair enough.
Not a great start.
And it's they're 0-3 this year, so it's not as good a start this year. They're in trouble. Yeovilans are in a big bit of doo-doo as well at 89 points against the South London Rebels, former Rousey Cup champions, 195. good win for them, puts them 2-0 again, and your Villains are down to 0-3. And then the Kirkwall Cowboys, 227 points, winning the Kirkwall Derby against the Kirkwall Raiders, 196 points. Our Alan and his Kirkwall Raiders can feel hard done to 196 is not too bad, but the Cowboys were just a wee bit too strong for them. And yes, so we've got a couple of teams down here at 3-0. I think there's maybe 4 or so.
4. But then
Yeah,
6
4
and 1
of them
and 2.
3-0. So the 6th is 1 and 2. So, even 6th place to 4th place, there's a two-win gap already. So those top 4, you don't want them pulling away too much. The others need to get on their tails and start maybe
Let's have a look at the
knocking
Derby.
some wins against them. So Kirkwall Derby won and lost there in the quarterbacks Hurts, and that was a lot of late stuff with Hurts, I don't think Ross would have been too happy heading into the second half with Hurts. He had next to nothing, but he came alive in the second half and absolutely made up for Derrick Henry's miscomings this week, and it's got him over the line there in the end, because that's they had Mims there too, which was a problem.
Jesus.
And but I mean, Ferguson's Ferguson beating Smith by 28 points. That's such a big swing, such a big difference in a positional spot. 28 points was the difference of the game, So there it is, right there. And then of course down in the defense, it's actually worked out better for Alan than it did Ross, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't to be for him, and Ross got the win, and with it,
Alan didn't play as Raider. You left his Raider on the
again.
bench.
It's one of those. It's one of those. I mean, I know he's a Raiders fan and all that, but if you played Tucker this week, you've either been forced into it because you've had injuries, or you've just kind of thrown a dice at something which you kind of don't deserve to get the win. But it has got Myers in there as well. So here's the question: can you now drop Myers for Tucker? I think that would just be silly. Myers is still the number 1 there.
No,
Tucker
Myers
just
is
had
still
a
the
big
one.
game.
I'd give it another couple of weeks. If it starts going a bit the other way, then maybe. But I wouldn't drop him. Well, I wouldn't put him in the agency. I'd keep him on my bench, because knowing your luck, you drop him, somebody pick him up when you score 30 points.
Yeah, I mean, Myers is still the man for me. I think Tucker's our last resort. I've got to chuck someone in because I've got injuries. I've got bye weeks when they come around, because the bye weeks will be on soon enough, Johnny. They're coming. And that's kind of what Tucker's for, is to fill a gap. So you're going to see him sitting on a lot of benches with his 40-odd points, and it's not something that if I've got him sitting on my bench, I'm not worried about him scoring 40 points sitting on my bench. It's when I've got the likes of like Jamal Williams when he had his big week 2. I had him on a couple of benches because I had players that I wanted to start in front of him, and of course that makes me feel bad when you leave a good player on the bench and he does well. It's like, I should have started him. But you can't kick yourself for leaving Tucker on the bench. He's there for emergency purposes only.
Definitely. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, so Dickins's team has got 205, came up against 226. So that was Cruise Juggernaut's first win. So that would have been 0-3 if they'd lost. It would have been another one. So it's a good win to have. But Jones
it's a running back issue again there, Barkley and Hubbard. Barkley and Hubbard not doing what Barkley and Hubbard should be doing, and that's what you've lost Hunt now. Hunter's not done great. Evans is out. You've lost him during the game, so that's kind of where this game was lost. And again, but it's over 200 points. I'm not worried about it. Wilson will do much better. Cooper will do much better there, and look at the bench. You've got Caleb, but again, you're not going to start him. You're not starting Caleb over Mayfield. But I don't think you're ever going to start Caleb over Mayfield. So that it leaves both the question why have him taken up a bench spot. But there you go.
I don't know if that game was this week and the Bears were up against the Dallas Cowboys defense, and the Packers had ruined them last week by those 2 points. Would you play Williams over Mayfield?
It's a very good question, Johnny. It really is. That's a good question.
I know it's a what if, but
Mayfield's been fine this season without being spectacular. He's been fine without being spectacular. So, I think I maybe would up against the Dallas defense. I think I maybe would, but it would be a big call to make, you know. And I would not blame anyone for not making that change, you know, and playing Mayfield, because Mayfield's solid, as I say, and he's going to do just fine. But he has got issues with who to throw to now as well. He's got so many injuries. Ibuka's still a wee bit hurt, although playing. And Sam Shepard's a pick up this week, for goodness sake, you know. No
Sterling
Evans,
Shepard.
Godwin's not going to be back, McMillan's out, you know, so there's problems there for Mayfield. So with that coupled on top of it being Dallas defense, I probably would pay Williams. But would I have done that last week? No, I wouldn't have done it
No.
last week, because
Evans
Mayfield,
was fit.
you know, he
Ibuka
had
was
Evans
fit.
there, he had Evans there, etc. You know, so I wouldn't have done it last week, but this week I maybe would, especially if Dallas get eaten up again the week before.
Like, Godwin had full practice on Wednesday, then this practice on Thursday.
Yeah, well, there you go, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, who are the 0-3s in here, Johnny? Go down to the bottom, let me see who the 0-3s are.
They got
some 0-3s, yeah, there's 3 of them down here. Your Villains, Bognor Regis Falcons, and the Kirkwall Raiders there, Alan. It's they need to get the wins on the wall. At least the 6th place is 1 and 6 in here, though, isn't it? 6th place is 1 and 2. Sorry, 1 and 2. So they are only 1 win behind, but you don't want to let the rest get ahead. The last thing you want to be doing is chasing just one slot, you know.
Oh, juicy top game there. The Darlow Destroyers up against the Melbourne Supremacy. 2-3-0.
I mean, that's a huge game for both players, in the sense that one of them's going 4-0, and the one who goes 4-0 is looking very, very strong. And of course, this is the division where you want to be in that top more than anything, you know, because this is, you're going for it. Darlow Destroyers have won the Orkney Bowl last year. Can you imagine if they were to repeat? I mean, that would just be a crazy thing to do, to beat 95 other teams 2 years in a row. That would be a very, very impressive thing to pull off. So, come on, guys, let's get on top.
I know, there's only the top teams can stop them. So you got the Crew Juggernauts up against the Gothenburg Angels at 1-1. Belford Benchwarmers against the Portland Lumberjacks. The 0-3 Your Villains against the Dickenshire Demons. Good start with 41 points. The 3-0 Kirkwall Cowboys trying to beat another 0-3 to beat the Bognor Regis Falcons. And the Southampton Rebels are up against the Kirkwall Cowboys. So
yeah, I mean, if the Kirkwall Cowboys go on and win that game against Bognor Regis Falcons, then, as I say, it's a long way back for Bognor Regis. They're certainly not catching Kirkwall Cowboys, put it that way. They're not going to win back 4 games in 10 weeks. That just seems very, very out there to me. But as I say, it's a big week for all these 1 and 2 teams, all these 0-3 teams. Whereas the 3-0 and even the 2-1 teams have got that wee bit of breathing space. They've got that little bit of the gap, you know, that they can afford to maybe lose one in the next couple of weeks and still be comfortable enough and still be okay. So yeah, it's very different situations for each team, depending on where you're sitting in the league, you know. And it's yeah, if you're 3-0, you don't mind losing this week. If you're 0-3, you really can't afford to. And Johnny, I'm 0-3 and I can't afford to, and I'm going. So I am very worried about my Orkney Bowl season at the moment.
But I think there's like, you're not. I don't think you're the lowest scoring team in that division. Our division.
Oh no, I'm far from it. I'm far from it. I've scored okay, but as I say, I'm not comfortable with what I've done. I'm not comfortable with the team, and all about staying up for me this year now. If I manage to sneak into the playoffs, great, but I can't see that happening now. It's all about staying in the division. Whereas I think you have to be chasing the promotion, and anyone who's 3-0 now has to be looking at, I'm going up. I want to get promoted. I want to be in those playoffs. That has to be the mindset.
So let's see who you got.
Week 3's in the bag, Johnny. Week 3's all done and dusted. Week 4 will be on us before we know it. As you say, there's the Ryder Cup issue this week, but the NFL doesn't stop. It still goes ahead, and I wish everyone the best of luck for their week 4 matches tomorrow night. And get your 2 tellies up, because you need one for the golf and one for the NFL.
Well, you need one for the Giants game to lose. You need one for the multi-screen so you can watch it all there, and big TV for Game Pass, and another screen for the monitor for the golf, and that'll be sorted.
It's all good.
But yeah, good luck everybody this week, especially the 0-3 teams. Obviously, not good luck team against me this week, and I hope you do better this week than you did before. You need to catch up on Doug. I know he's one game ahead of you, but Ken, at the moment, one game's a lot.
Tell me about it. But yeah, as I say, it's a struggle this year, that's for sure. But I'm certainly not dead yet, and I'm not giving up on it just yet. I can still sneak in. If I can sneak the 6th place, that would be great. But if not, I'll make sure I stay in the division.
Like the movie says, if you get into 6th place, it's any given Sunday. So
any given Sunday, exactly.
So, good luck, everybody, and we'll probably be back on Thursday next week unless Craig's too busy. Then we can always make it the weekend again. And obviously, whoever anybody does watch this game, mind on, there is a 2:30 game this week. Have to?
Yes, that's right. Don't forget your teams.
Like
yes,
8 o'clock in America or something like that. So make sure you set your. It is the Vikings are obviously McCarthy is out, so it'll be Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is starting. Aaron Jones is out.
Daniels is out. McLaurin's out.
You need to be starting Jordan Mason. So, but remember to get your teams done by 2:30 UK time on Sunday.
Yeah, and enjoy the games, everybody. Catch you later.
Good night, good day, everyone.